morning, East Castle Place. Hope everybody's doing well out there. Happy Thursday when this is being aired. Of course, today is a beautiful, beautiful Wisconsin day. Wow, have we not been very fortunate with the weather as of late? I even had our windows open last night. Middle of August, usually the dog days of summer, and here we are, just enjoying a beautiful, beautiful Wisconsin day here on the east side of Milwaukee. As always, thank you so much for tuning in with this edition of Coffee with Tyler. Hope you have your favorite beverage alongside of you. Join me in taking a sip as we get started. Alright, so COVID-19. Good update. No current cases of COVID-19 here at the community. Of course, that's what we want to continue to see. Thank you to all those of you that are adhering to the guidance, adhering to the visitor policy, etc., etc. Of course, wearing your trusty mask. All signs are pointing to that this is continuing to mitigate the risk, so thank you for that. I do not want to mislead anybody by thinking that, you know, we're through it, we're done, we'll continue to mask, but other than that, let's keep on moving. We're not through this. COVID-19 is still very, very true and very, very apparent around us, around Milwaukee, and very much at risk for the community. So we need to continue to take steps to fight and mitigate COVID-19. But we did take a pretty big step yesterday, Tuesday, and I saw a number of you dining in the dining room. I spoke with one of your neighbors, and he said, you know, I pictured this a little differently. I pictured that, you know, 60 or 90 days, you know, past, we'd be popping champagne, we'd be hugging, and we'd be back to normal. And here we are, and we're wearing masks to the dining table. We're sitting 6 feet apart. It's just different. And so, you know, I appreciated that, because I too thought, you know, back on March 12th, which I believe is the date of the last time that the dining room was open. Don't quote me on that. We're going back in the history books. The dining room was open. And here we are, August 18th, August 19th today, and we opened the dining room back up. And it was a lot different. You saw some new faces. You definitely felt new protocols. You definitely saw a difference in the capacity of the dining room, all in efforts to mitigate the risk and continue to take this very seriously. So, again, for those of you that did dine, I was there. I saw many of you. I hope the dining experience was great. Although different. If you didn't dine, perfectly fine too. Everybody's taking this at your own pace. The whole reason the dining room is open is to allow for some choice and some normalcy back in your routines. And I know that I've had conversations with a few of you that have said, Tyler, I don't agree with you opening the dining room. I've had some family members say, Tyler, I don't quite agree with you opening the dining room. COVID-19 is very much still at risk, and again, I'm not discounting that. I am not at all. But at the same time, there is I guess a piece of East Castle Place, and a piece of that I feel is important is that socialization and that normalcy and that choice that you deserve, that you should have. And if that choice is to stay the course, continue to get the meals delivered to your home, continue to, not dine in the dining room because you're not comfortable, by all means, that's perfectly fine. Continue to make those choices. But if you are comfortable or you want to dine in the dining room for dinner, again, I believe you should have that option. It's been over 6 months. COVID, unfortunately, is going to be with us at least, for the foreseeable future. And so, again, these are the calculated risks and calculated decisions that are made. And again, these are not easy decisions. But again, this is what we're doing. Carlos and the team have moved forward with a plan. The servers are always masked. The dining room is absolutely at 25 to 30% capacity. We're treating it just like many restaurants in the Milwaukee area that have been open for a number of months. And although the COVID cases continue, across the U.S. to rise, And you know, I look at it both from what we're doing at East Castle Place, first and foremost. But again, I felt, and the board agreed with the approval to move forward with that. Again, I don't just make these decisions on my own. I make them informed with CDC, with Wisconsin Department of Health, with LCS, with the Board of Directors guidance as well. And so again, this is the direction we're going. One other piece that I'm happy to announce is we're going to resume the exterior courtyard visits. So again, signups will be available on Friday. And so those exterior courtyard visits will resume on Tuesday. You'll see that in the memo that will hit your doors today if you're watching this on Thursday. So please keep an eye out on that. And again, Thursday memos will be distributed in your in-house mailboxes. And again, those are for you to take a look at. I'll email those out to the family members that I have email addresses for. And hey, if you want an email rather than going down to your mailbox, or you're like, Tyler, I just want electronic format, let me know. Let me know your email address. Happy to send that away on to you. So that's really the COVID-19 update. I mentioned last week the health center went through another survey, no deficiencies, no issues. Very happy about that. And we are going forward. So, you know, again, testing is a question that has come across my desk. When are we going to be retested or something of that nature? Again, testing, as you can imagine, the labs are overwhelmed. The supply is not as abundant. And so we're working obviously with the State Department, and it's a catch-22. The reason why we don't have the test allotted to us or allocated to us is because we're not in an outbreak situation where other health centers across the U.S. or across Wisconsin need the tests. And so that's why we're not on allocation. Now we have tests, we have them on, you know, available. However, per CDC guidance, Department of Health, we're not just testing to test. We are doing some baseline testing in our most acute area, which is our skilled nursing, 4th and 5th floor. We're working directly with our employees that work that area, as well as any employees that are symptomatic. Symptom management is something that we are taking very seriously, holding employees out as we have for the last 6 months. And again, those mitigation tactics have proven successful. And so again, we're going to we do have them available. However, they are not for broad use. We are not going back through independent living to test. And so if you do want to be tested for some reason, or you're feeling symptomatic, obviously you need to let us know. Stay isolated. We'll work with you. But there are 2 testing sites in Milwaukee now that are still allowing for free tests. But again, across the U.S., across Wisconsin, testing, you know, is ramped up, no doubt. But the supplies are trying to keep pace, and that's the tough part. So that's the COVID-19 update. A couple other things that I have on my calendar for you, just to mention. The State of the Castle meeting is going to be aired on Tuesday next week. Mark your calendars. I'll have Laura make sure that's in the activities packet. Submit your questions by the end of the day, Thursday. So you're watching this on Thursday. If you're re-watching this on Friday, unfortunately your questions are a little too late. So please, if you have questions and you're watching this Thursday, get those submitted to Maureen immediately. We are taping it on Friday, and then it'll air on Tuesday. So again, that's State of the Castle. You'll see myself, a number of directors giving updates in regards to how we're doing. And so again, as always, if you have questions or concerns, let us know, of course. We're here for you. We're here to answer those for you and take those moving forward. Another piece, can't believe it, but budget. The budget is moving forward, and so a budget presentation is set to be taped on Wednesday, next Wednesday, and then aired on Thursday, the 27th of August. You will also be receiving a letter stating and what that increase may look like. I don't want to, give anything away at this point. I can, tell you that the Board of Directors will have a full presentation, and ultimately it is up to the Board of Directors to approve the budget. But again, that is forthcoming, And again, we want to make sure we're able to maintain a strong workforce, which again is always 50%, actually 60% of the total budget is labor, and that's the services that we provide. And of course, we want to make sure our employees are competitive in their wages and benefits and so on and so forth. But at the same time, we want to make sure it's reasonable for everybody that lives here as well. So again, we'll look forward to that next week with the budget presentation happening on the 26th. A couple of other things. You see that the groups are happening. Go at your comfort again, much like the dining room. But there's a ton of programming that's coming forth. I have a meeting with Laura here shortly. I know that a couple of you have reached out and said, Tyler, how can we utilize channel 955 as well as in-person groups? How do we do that? Laura's got some great ideas. You know, again, I said it a couple times. Reopening the community is proving to be much more difficult than just shutting it down. Because again, it's pretty easy to say, okay, we're not doing it, and just that's it. It's much harder to say, okay, we're going to open it, but you have to do X, Y, and Z. We have to limit group sizes to 10 or 20 based on the room size. We have to limit, you know, how the interactions are being done. We have to wear masks while we're in those groups. And again, how do we manage that? How do we monitor that? So again, it's proving very difficult, especially in the activities area. And so the community life area. So I know Laura and the team are working through that piece. Many of you may have missed Laura last week. Hopefully not. Hopefully her team took care of you. But Laura took a well-deserved vacation, as it is important for the director team as well as our staff to take that mental break, some vacation. So if you see or are needing some individuals that you may not have seen around the campus, let me know. If I'm not here, Lindsay V. Goot is a great individual. The front desk also should be aware of when directors are off and things of that nature. As always, like last week, Eric was also off, enjoying time with his family. And so work orders still should have been done. Put work orders through the front desk. If you have questions or concerns about that, obviously let Eric know or myself. That's what we're here for. Eric, Laura, the team, we got a full group today. And so it's great to see all the directors back, refreshed. And again, just trying to manage that piece, as it is a lot for the team. They do shoulder a lot, and I give them a great deal of appreciation. I know you do as well. But again, that's why we have a full team. We have over 200 employees that are here for you. And if a director's out, that doesn't mean that things stop. Speaking of directors, Lori Meckley, our director of assisted living, is out, and she's out on an extended leave. She had some personal things to take care of, but I can assure you she's doing well. Everything is going well there. So if you have a loved one in assisted living, or you're watching this in assisted living, know Lori misses you. She wishes you well. And if you have questions or concerns about that, let me know or let Lindsay know. Excuse me. Let me grab a sip of coffee here. All right, a couple other things that are coming down the pipeline is just, you know, keep an eye out for those activity calendars. I know the resident council is getting together tomorrow or today if you're watching it on Thursday. And so I'm excited. I'm excited to sit down with a group of 8 individuals, that is your resident council, to just go through how are things going, get kind of that committees back flowing. Again, that communication is so crucial. And again, if you're feeling that something's not getting across to how we're messaging it, or maybe you feel that we're not hearing you, let us know. You know, because again, I know that the directors are all here for you. I know that you know, not everything is perfect. Obviously, these are difficult times. I know they're frustrating times. I know that there's certain services that may not be up to what you had before COVID, whether that's due to COVID, meaning that, you know, I used to be able to watch and be with my neighbor is listening to the State of the Castle, all the way through, the takeout meals are getting, not, I don't want to say old, but, are just not up to what we would like. Let us know. That's what we're here for. And so again, ultimately, this is your home, this is your community. All we can do is to know when you share with us a concern and how to respond. Not going to say that we're going to be able to fix it overnight, but again, your patience, your understanding is always appreciated. At the end of the day, I assure you that every director, every staff member is here for you, trying to do their best to meet your needs, as well as to take care of you to a very, very high degree that you deserve. That's what we're here for. I know that, it starts with me and how I'm able to care for you and provide that service. And so, again, if there's questions or concerns, let me know. I had a couple questions last evening while I was rounding the dining room. It was great, really, to see and to be able to interact in that face-to-face, safe distancing aspect, get that real live feedback. And, I was able to answer a few of them. Again, a lot of this COVID, there is no black and white. It's very, very gray. And so some of the decisions, you're like, Tyler, it's not making sense. One example was, Tyler, I know that, there was some individuals that went on vacation, and they don't, and they're employees, and they don't have to quarantine. Why do I? My response, they aren't at risk. They aren't over the age of 60. And so when you're over the age of 60, according to the CDC guidelines, that puts you in an at-risk category. And so that's why I have to protect you. And again, my staff are wearing masks, they're being temped, we're managing their symptoms much more closely. And so that's why we're asking for that 14-day quarantine period if you do leave the community for an extended period of time, out of state, etc. And I know that it's, the employees that may be asymptomatic and things of that nature. Again, we've gone through baseline testing, and again, I know that's only as good as that day or maybe that next day. But again, that's something that, from all the guidance, it's what we have and how we manage. And at the end of the day, we still need employees to serve you. And so again, those interactions and things of that nature, are there for you, and we're trying to mitigate every risk to you. You've done a fantastic job in taking care of yourselves as well. I know doctors' offices are reopening up. Make sure you're wearing your masks when you're going to those appointments. We're not asking you to quarantine after those. I know that those are essential. But again, trying to just manage the flow to the best of our ability. On that note, I also want to note, if you do have essential caregivers that have been approved, great. However, we still are not allowing interior courtyard or interior visits. And so I know that family members are vying to get in there. I know that your family and loved ones miss you. That's why we're going to open up the exterior courtyards. But at the same time, I'm trying to, not allow and sneak individuals in. I know it's easier said than done. I know that families want to come see you no matter what. And I too want that. I want that so badly. But at the same time, we have to mitigate the risk. And so the easiest and the best way I know how is to put the umbrella over and really get those approvals through myself, Teresa, or Lindsay, if you have questions or concerns. But overarchingly, family, friends, visitors are not allowed inside the walls of East Castle Place at this point. That risk is still too great. And so again, I'm comfortable with the way in which we're managing the employees. And again, they're not having necessarily that direct contact with you for an extended period of time. But at the same time, again, they're here to be able to provide those services. Again, a lot of gray there, right? No simple answers. Trust me, I wish simple answers, were available. No easy decisions are to be made. And so, again, I applaud you. I thank you for your adherence and participation in the guidance that I provided, that the state has provided me. and appreciate your understanding and your patience. It's incredible. So with that, I know a couple of you have asked, we are 9 weeks away from baby Gudex, well, supposed to be entering this beautiful world. Stephanie's doing great, my wife, and so we'll welcome baby boy Gudex hopefully October 20th, 2020, so 10/20/2020 is the due date. Whether or not he decides to join us then, I guess that's kind of up to him. But again, all the doctor's appointments, everything are going fantastic. Steph's a warrior, staying active, still working from home. Just wanted to give you a little bit of that personal update from myself to you. And as I know, a couple of you have asked, so yes, I will definitely keep everybody updated, share pictures, etc., when the time comes. Obviously not yet. We're not quite ready for him. But again, excited, nervous, all those feelings that I'm sure all you first-time parents may have had. I appreciate any of the advice that I get. The sleep one is really one that I'm taking on to. And again, just taking the little things in life. So, although the world may be a little crazy right now with COVID and everything else that's going on, it's the simple things that we need to stay focused on. The simple laughs, the simple smiles, the simple hellos, and those relationships that we all have with our loved ones. Stay close to them. We're here for you as well, your East Castle Place family. It's what we're known for, and so it's the culture that you've made, and so I'm so fortunate to be with you. I'm so fortunate to come into East Castle each day and have the opportunity to work alongside the staff, to share the laughs with you, and again, to provide the absolute best service and care for you and your loved ones that are here at East Castle Place. So, with that, I'm going to sign off with a sip. I appreciate everybody joining me today with this Coffee with Tyler. I hope everybody stays well. Stay strong. As always, East Castle Place strong. Enjoy that beautiful weather. Get outside and get a walk in if you can. So, all right. With that, I'll sign off with a sip. And go Bucks, right? We're in the postseason. So, all right. Well, take care, everybody. Enjoy that day. Enjoy the beautiful weather. As always, we'll see you next week. Take care. Take a look at your memo. Take a look at what's in your mailboxes. All right. With that, take care.